Okay, so I'm obviously being a copycat because Bounty did this the other day, or however you say her name, and I kind of got the idea to do it for myself. And I asked them, I posted actually, and I really only got questions from one person, and that would be Captain Calledo, and the only person to ask me questions. So you wanted to know why I loved Spain, and I posted earlier today on my profile. I started doing the Hitalia 30-day challenge, and I've actually posted twice today because of I meant to start yesterday and I missed it, so I started doing it today. And just to make it easier so I don't, screw things up, I'm going to find that post, hopefully. Yeah, here, my 30-day challenge. And I really love Spain because he's unique and he's got this really large history, and it's got good things, it's got bad things, and he was part of the Roman Empire for a long time and he struggled to break away from it. And then when he was finally able to stand on his own, he became this huge empire. I mean, he was the conqueror of the Western Hemisphere. He had most of America. He had Florida all the way over to the west coast, in fact, and at one point he literally had all of America. And then, France came and took Louisiana and all that stuff. And he had pieces of Canada. He had all of Central America. He had most of Southern America. He had the entire Caribbean, except for a few islands. South Italy, pieces of Africa, the Balearic Islands, the Canary Islands, the Philippines, Netherlands, and Belgium. So not only did he have, not only did he conquer the Western Hemisphere, but he had a lot of important pieces of Europe. He had big important ports in Africa, and then he was all the way in the Pacific Ocean too. So, we see this happy-go-lucky Spain in the show, but it's kind of a facade because he has such a dark history, and for him to be able to put on that face instead of being like England and being grumpy all the time is, he's a really strong person. And then as you move through history, when Spain's at his strongest, you get Habsburg Spain, which is where this Austria-Spain pairing comes from. That a lot of people are like, what is this pairing? And it's Habsburg Spain. And Habsburg Spain, I both like and dislike. I don't like the pairing itself, but Habsburg Spain is phenomenal. It was the peak of the Spanish Empire, but it was also the downfall of the Spanish Empire, because King Philip II in 1588 decided that, along with already waging war with Netherlands, because Netherlands was trying to secede from Spain, and so they were going to invade England, and ended up getting his entire armada destroyed. Now, the Armada managed to rebuild itself, and they still did a lot over in Central America and rooting of gold, and, causing England to be jealous and say, we want gold too, and they ended up not finding any. That happened. He was trying to wage war against Netherlands, in which England took the side of Netherlands, and so did France at this time. And France did a lot of flip-flopping. If he was Protestant, he was sided with England. If he was Catholic, he was sided with Spain, most of the time. And, Spain had no stable allies. We see the Bad Touch Trio, but the Bad Touch Trio really only happened in the War of Austrian Succession. And even then, still, Prussia never really was on one side. He just kind of did what he wanted to do, or he jumped on the side of the person that was the strongest. So he had a lot of instabilities. And then he had Southern Italy, who left him at one point, and he was kind of just left with nothing after the downfall of his empire. And, he's so complex, and he's got this really dark side, but he's also able to be this extremely happy person in today's society, even though he's gone through, a huge fall, and, he practically lost his empire overnight. Almost every single country that he had control of in Central America and the Caribbean basically declared independence within a week of each other. All of them. Literally. And, I see myself in him because of certain things that I've gone through. And, he learning about Spain and its history, it has really given me the confidence to do what I want to do. And, he's really shown me that even though you go through all these things and you basically go to hell and back, that everything's still going to be okay. Things will still turn out in the end, and there's still something worth smiling for. And, I don't just love Spain because he's this sexy Spaniard. Granted, he is, but he's just got this nice, rich, deep history, which I really, really love. I'm so obsessed with history. And, what else? To Captain Amber, I do enjoy playing a little Tony. I do enjoy playing your son. He's so much fun to just bring out and be like, Papa, Papa, and, look what I did, or look what I can do. And I will do it in English, and I will do it in Spanish, because I can do both languages, and I can say various things in other different languages, and sometimes an accent comes out when I don't want it to, like now. And, so in English, I love you, Papa. In Spanish, te amo, Papa. So, there's that. And, also, Mama, te amo, Mama. And Roma, especially, even though Roma's not on right now. I really enjoy playing the adult Tony and the baby Tony for Roma too, because, I started to ship Spain UK so hard when I started this roleplay with another friend of mine, and I found out, more of their history. And then I jump here on Tumblr, and all of a sudden I have this, my Spains fall in love with Romanos, and like, where did this come from? So, te amo, Roma, and, Tony is just, he's definitely more the lovable side of Spain. Most of the time when I roleplay as Spain, I roleplay this darker, more realistic side. And when it comes to a lot of the more intimate moments, he gets very controlling, very possessive, very dominating. And not because he chooses to, but just kind of his old personality kind of takes over. And if you pay attention to the blog that's linked to my Baby Tony account, that Antonio tends to do that. But this Tony, he doesn't. And, I've taken it that way, because sometimes I get tired of role-playing that realistic Spain. I want to be the happy, derpy Spain every once in a while. And, I guess to the rest of you that didn't write me questions or anything, it's still really cool. I love talking to all of you. I love all of my followers. I love everybody that I follow. Interacting with all of you is just so much fun, especially all the different Romanos and Italys and Spains. There are so many Spains that I interact with. Encanto, Conquistador, Papa, and then the Lovinos. There are so many Lovinos and Romanos. There's my Roma, there's Roma's adopted Papa, who is a rather scary Lovino. There's a different Mafia Lovino that I interact with. There's the Were Lovino, who was a vampire at one point. And then you have all the Italys that I interact with. There's the Feliciano, that's Roma's mama, Mama Feli. That is so much fun to see you get so adorable over this wedding that we're planning, and I really just am having so much fun with it. And the other day when Tony was rather in trouble, like panicking, because you're the one who got me in trouble. Go be Tony. And then all the people I put on my follow list today. Besame Pomodoro. You do deserve to be on that list because you're not what you say you are. You're amazing. You're fun to interact with. Vatican City. You roleplay the Vatican. That's so cool. I follow a Netherlands on my other account, and he is really awesome. And there's a couple Prussias that I follow on, or I think there's a Femme Prussia that I follow on this account. You're really cool, and the Austrias, you Austrias are a trip. You're hilarious. And the few Americas and London, you guys that roleplay the cities, you're just amazing, and all these different interactions between each other, and I read almost everything, guys. I really do. Because it's so much fun. You guys make me feel like I'm a part of something. You make me feel like I belong somewhere. You know, rather than just being stuck here, around here in my home with... There's nobody around here that really knows Hetalia all that much. There's a couple people that I go to cons and stuff with, but almost everybody I know lives an hour away or 2 hours away across the state. I live in Florida. So, you know, there's like nobody here. And it kind of sucks, especially in my county. I live where the space shuttles are. The space shuttles are across the river from me. Well, were, since the space program's now. But talking to all of you online gives me a place to be. It gives me a home. It gives me someplace to come home to, where I'm welcomed, where I feel like I belong and I fit in for once. And I don't have to worry about who I am, where I've come from, where I'm going. It's just the character that I roleplay, the character that I write, the person that, you know, and being myself without being myself. And that's just amazing to do. And I suppose I probably should have given you some of my more, like, basic information at the start of the video, but I get so caught up in things, and you guys make me so happy. My real name's Emily. I go by Emmy. I go by Antonio. At school, in one of my classes, we have 3 Emilys in my class, and when we went around and we actually filled out a card that said what we want to be called by, I've started going by Tony, because it's not a very common name anymore around here. My teacher's name is Tony. It's kind of funny, but his real name is Anthony. And so, you know, you can call me Tony, you can call me Antonio, you can call me Emily, you can basically call me whatever you want. Call me bitch if you want. I don't care. I'll be 21 in January. I live in Florida. No, I'm not a small girl, obviously. I attend college. It's literally just down the street from my house. I draw. I write. I enjoy writing more than I draw, because my drawings actually kind of suck. Like, where's the drawing that I did for Encanto? No, that's what I did yesterday, and it's got my name signed all over it. Encanto, where did you go? I have all kinds of other drawings. There's Spain's suit with no face, because I can't draw a face to save my life. And then, of course, I've got all my other various drawings. I've got things that people have drawn for me. Oh. I keep posting this drawing for you guys, and I never really explain it. It's, a scene from a roleplay that I'm doing that's actually turned into a giant fan fiction that a friend and I are writing. It's called Crimson Stains. It's a pirate fanfiction between Spain and England. There we go. And it's not your typical one. Spain's definitely not the little prissy pirate, and England's not always this badass, heartless thing either. I mean, our characters, they have personality, and they have a lot of things in common, and there's a whole big conflict that's coming up, and it's rather long, and it's mostly historical. We strive for accuracy, as far as facts are, where they go, what kind of things they're using, stuff like that. But, yeah, I read a lot. I'm reading this. It's my textbook, but I'm reading it for fun. It's my history book. God, this is a 16-minute video already, and I feel so bad because it's so long, and I have so many messages on Tumblr right now, and I have to reply to role plays, and I'm still waiting for Roma to get home. Roma will be home in a half hour if this video doesn't end up being that long. And you guys make me so happy. I can't not be happy when I'm talking to all of you. It's just... Sorry. My dog's stepping on me. So, I guess if there's anything else you want to know, I can't really think of anything else. I guess I could talk about pairings a little bit. I try not to whore out Spain. I usually keep him strictly to Spamano and Spain UK, because I originally started with Spain UK, 1 for that roleplay, and 2, I felt Spain needed to be with somebody before he could be with Romano, and because of the historical significance between Spain and England, I kind of stuck them together. I don't necessarily hate any pairings. There are ones that I really don't prefer. Fruck being one of them. I'm not a big fan of France UK. I'll read it sometimes, maybe for the smut, and yes, they have a lot of history together, and ooh, God, the France and England history. I could rant for hours about how the French screwed up the English language, but I won't do that. And, Spain, Austria, I don't prefer necessarily. I do ship a lot of the popular pairings. I do ship US UK, except I prefer it to be UK US. I don't necessarily like an UK England. I do ship Jurita, Spamano. I do, I ship, why can't I think of any off the top of my head right now? I do ship Austria and Hungary together. Sometimes, I have shipped Germany and Austria together. I've shipped Prussia and Austria together. I've shipped Spain and Netherlands. I don't stay away from the het pairings. I don't prefer Belgium Spain or Belgium Romano, because her personality, I kind of see her being, I don't need somebody to be happy. Not to mention she has her brother. I see the brother-sister purely platonic, Switzerland and Liechtenstein. I love seeing them together because they're adorable. I don't necessarily, it's not that I don't like the Asian nations, because I do like Hong Kong, I do like Thailand, and I do like Korea, but because I guess their history doesn't just interest me as much, and it's just kind of not in my range, I guess you could say, for what I learn about. They're some of my least favorite characters, really. They have personality, but they just don't have enough of it for me. I prefer the European countries. Like, I don't ship Biasa Kiku at all. I don't ship England, Japan. You know, some of their history is really great. The history between England and Hong Kong is great, and England and China. You know, lots of good stuff, but I don't see it. I do ship France and Jeanne d'Arc. I do like that ship a lot. Lately I've been getting into Romania, Hungary. I've done Rome, Germania. Turkey, Greece. I do ship that. I do ship Etacest. I do ship America, Canada. I ship Canada, Cuba. I'm kind of getting into Prucan a little bit. But you know, there are just the pairings I prefer, the pairings I don't prefer. I don't bash pairings because that's really stupid. I mean, there's so many people you can put together or not put together if you wish. I mean, everybody to each their own. And now that I've reached 20 minutes, I've kind of ranted, and I apologize for this video being so long. Again, you know, I have lots to talk about, and if I could reach my hat right now, the Nordics. I completely forgot about the Nordics. I can't believe I did that, because I love the Nordics so much. I do. I ship Den Nor, I ship Den Nor Ice, I ship Ice Nor, I ship Den Su, Su Den, Su Fin. I put them all together. I love the Nordics so much, and their personalities. I like, you know, if I had to pick top 5 characters, it would be Spain, England, Prussia, Denmark, and Romano. They would be my top 5. And I just love it all. It's just too amazing. Pirates, everything, history. History. That's what I love Hitalia for. I loved it for its comedy. I took it with a light heart, and it got me into the history, and now the history has just taken over my life, and it's steering my life in the direction I want to go. I want to go to college, to learn history, to move to Europe, to be a tour guide, or a curator in a museum, something over there with just all of the history. So, with that, te amo mama, papa, Roma, everyone. Te amo mucho. Gracias. Adiós.